Hey everyone, welcome back to RM Transit. One thing I love in any city is an epic park, and Toronto's Downsview Park wants to be that, though whether it is certainly up for debate. That said, what's better than an epic park? An epic park with subway access, or better yet, subway and regional rail access. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at Downsview Park, its transit access, and why it's one of the most important spaces for the future of Toronto. If you're not already, consider supporting the channel on Patreon or YouTube memberships to help me bring you more videos like this, appreciating the small details of transit systems. Downsview Park is a new station on Toronto's York subway extension that opened at the end of 2017. Its design reflects the grassy knolls of its namesake park, which is mostly just grassy knolls, and its connections to GO Transit are among the best in the city, so let's go take a look at it. Arriving at the platform of the station, we see a very familiar aesthetic of mostly concrete and bright lights common on the new TYSSE stations, with a single island platform serving both the north and southbound trains. The station doesn't feel especially fancy, and the cream color isn't my favorite. That said, there is a piece of interesting perspective artwork here from the same artist who did the works at Bayview Station on Line 4. You can also notice that the TV screens have reverted to their ad-dominated form, seemingly giving up the TTC's previous design, which showed the next several train arrivals that they had said would be rolled out across the system. What a shame. Alright, time to head up to the intermediate concourse level via one of these very wide sets of stairs. You might have noticed the signs referring to GO Transit, and that's because up on the surface, this station also serves the GO Barrie line, which heads north-south. The station also has the same modern escalators with light bars seen at other stations on the Line 1 extension, and the large windows above mean that some natural light works its way down. The concourse level spans the whole length of the platform level down below, and that means it has a lot of empty space in case it ever gets busy. That's unlikely though, and Downsview Park is actually the least used station on the TTC subway system, with only around 2,000 people using it per day. The space is cut lengthwise in half by clear separators and fare gates to denote the fare paid zone, with vertical access to the surface level located outside of that. You'll also notice one of the largest gate lines on the entire subway network here despite the low usage of the station. The separation also allows for passengers on GO who don't want to pay a TTC fare to move from side to side, platform to platform in the future station configuration. But the real solution to that problem, that wouldn't require a massive underground space, is just fare integration. You'll also note more perspective art on this level, as well as the usual hand sanitizer dispensers and payphones, as well as fare machines floating in the cavernous space. There are also more digital signs not being used to their full potential. Heading up to the surface via escalator, we're welcomed by one of the large entrance buildings, which features glass on 3 sides, and a large ad from when the extension opened, with the "Line 1 will get you there" tagline. There's also another great example of that perspective art in much larger form. Another feature I really like are these sliding doors for entry. These really help as they're touchless and help keep the station warmer in winter. Walking a bit from the building, we have signs for Downsview Park itself, the main area of which is some distance away. One cool thing though is how the grassy knolls of the park are reflected in the station buildings with their curved, grass-covered roofs. I've also heard suggestions during the opening that the aluminum edge cladding is meant to evoke airplanes, which makes sense with the nearby airfield and airplane manufacturing that was sited here. That part of the Downsview area is actually going to be redeveloped into a big master plan community in the future, so stay tuned for a video on that. For now though, we'll have a look at the path surrounding the head house, as well as the somewhat unique combined GO and TTC signage. You can also see some high-density development off in the distance close to Downsview, or Shepherd West Station. Looking from outside, we can really see how the station building we exited from is encased in glass on 3 sides, and how it's mirrored on the other side of the GO corridor by a very similar structure. I will say this bike shelter emphasizes all of the problems with this extension in my mind. Massive amounts of money spent on stations, and yet people don't even get an indoor bike parkade like in Vancouver, even though this destination is clearly one where it would make sense with all of the paths and whatnot. The theme of strange contrast continues into the GO facility. To be clear, the Go platform is fine, and indeed at the moment there is just one track and platform, though the facility is built for two, but it's shockingly minimal? Underwhelming? Just an asphalt platform. This isn't a modern Go station like we've seen at Agincourt, for example, and perhaps this is because it would kind of ruin the otherwise pristine aesthetic. That said, clearly a major transit hub needs to actually be functional, and the lack of better Go amenities is frustrating. That being said, looking at the building with the sliding doors leading onto the Go platform, this station could be an awesome experience should canopies be added in the future, with a pretty decent transfer possible between subway and regional rail. You can also look across the rails and see the rough-in for a future second platform, which will come in handy as frequency on this route increases over time. Of course, the Go platform has all of the usual amenities, presto tap points, benches, and shelters, which again feels silly when there is a giant attached subway building. Inside, things get slightly better, and passengers can wait inside for their train, even if that's not ideal. Here, there's also a really nice Go ticket counter. Looking down from the surface level, you can see all the way to the subway platform deep below ground. From here, we'll have to descend and take a look at the building on the other side. On this side, we get a very similar building on the surface, albeit with more space and without the Go facility. There is also the Wheel-Trans drop-off site and a small pickup drop-off loop. Walking down the street and towards the Shepherd Avenue grade separation, I can't help but think, what a pretty station with such underwhelming amenities, in an appropriately underwhelming park. Thanks for watching.